Yeah.
We have the tag team appreciation segment. Would you like me to go for it, or would you like to go for it?
Sure, I can do it. So we have FTR, the Young Bucks, Rock and Roll Express, and Tully and Arn, or the Brainbusters, if I want to go with tag team names all across the ring. They are in for the tag team appreciation night. If I had to summarize it, it's kind of a circle jerk. Like everyone is going around telling, "Oh, I'm surrounded by the greatest tag teams ever." But there are nuances in there. The Rock and Roll Express is referred to like as the predecessors of the Young Bucks that paved the way for tag team wrestling as it is now. The Rock and Roll Express says, "Yeah, greatest tag teams ever in the ring," but the Young Bucks clearly the best ever. While Arn says, "Yeah, greatest tag teams in the ring, but these FTR guys, best guys ever." And makes sense because the Brainbusters is kind of similar to the style that FTR wrestles. But it gets really interesting when Tully Blanchard grabs the mic from Ricky Morton and says, "Yeah, it's great. We're all great here, but what really makes a team great is having the championship. But none of those teams here have the championships." And that's, by the way, why I was saying they're building to a triple threat match. Maybe we have the greatest team, and the greatest team. By that logic. Do you want to add something to that?
I feel like there is like some nuances in there. I love the fact that there is almost like when they're sitting there in front of you and they say it. There was that like moment I was like, they really are. This is a great way of putting these guys up. Like Rock and Roll are definitely the Bucks. Like when it's said out loud and they're standing beside each other, I'm like, that makes total sense. And then when you say FTR is basically like Four Horsemen or Brainbusters, whatever you want to refer to as the duo of Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, you're like, they really are. This is literally a renaissance of this amazing tag team feud that used to happen during the 80s. And I'm like, oh my god, we're coming back to good wrestling. Oh, we're finally getting it, boys. We're finally getting the tag team feud we always deserved. I was like so happy about that. I was like, oh my god, it makes so much fucking sense.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
I'm with you. But Tully mentions he has still a grudge against Arn because last year Arn jumped to his boy Sean Spears in a match against Cody. Tully doesn't understand what this Nightmare Family logo is on Arn's chest. Why did he align with them? And this is when Sean Spears walks out. Arn says he knows where this is going. He leaves the ring. Then Tully punched the Rockers. It says the Rockers punched Tully in my notes, but Tully did punch the Rockers.
Punched Tully first.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting. Like he just socked him one. I was like, whoa, okay, Ricky. Okay, we're going this way, are we? Okay, let's go.
Yeah. And FTR and the Bucks try to break up the fight, and Sean pushes Dax to the ground, and it's revealed it is because of his injury, or is it because they removed the bracelet and attacked the Rockers from behind? People have been referring to this as their heel turn, but in my opinion, they've been tweeners leaning to the heel side from the get-go.
Yeah, they've been tweeners.
My interpretation of why they attacked the Rockers and not the Young Bucks here is still what I mentioned initially when they were signed. Like they want the Bucks in mint condition for their eventual match. They won't attack them before that because they won't give them any excuses for that. So they attack the closest proxy, the Rock and Roll Express, which has been set up as the predecessor of the Bucks.
And you know what? This kind of takes away from my theory that Cody would join the predicted Four Horsemen because Arn got out of Dodge because he was still quite loyal to Cody. Because there was like a little bit of nuance in there when like Tully said like, "What is this?" Almost as say join up with the Dreams kid. Really, really, you want to? You're backing Dusty's boy, our biggest enemy throughout the 80s. You're backing him. You know, it's one of those ones. And he's like, "What's wrong with that?" And it's like, So maybe Cody is kind of not be a part of this then, which then makes you think, who the hell's so then it's got to be Paige. It's got to be Paige then, doesn't it? Because even Paige is not like too fussed on what happens to Ricky Morton at this point. Like the Spike Pile driver, he's not too phased. He's like, oh man, why'd you do that for? Where like the Bucks and Kenny's visibly distraught at this.
Yeah, and like you said, Paige looks kind of puzzled at FTR, kind of like, WTF did you just do?
Yeah.
That's a very interesting, meaningful look he gave them. I'm really curious to see where this is going.
Yeah. Off guard, but great segment though. It was a bit congratulatory, self-farting. Why not? But good overall.